Back to this final drive differential. Found just wiggling it. We'll get it off. There we go. There it is. I do have the spacer in here. Definitely do not want to lose that. And then inside here is where all the oil is. Now I had said earlier this is the fill. This is actually the vent. This is where you fill it at. Down here is where you drain it. So we'll set that down. Now the other part, I have to get these apart, because that does have to go in with the final drive and with the sway bar for the trike kit. I'm going to go ahead and get these broke loose. I'll come back when we get it taken off. Alright, so here we are. Remove these 6 nuts. Hold the actual gear drive into the rim of the rear tire. Go ahead and get these broke loose. Well, some of these I did get loosened already. Not that one. Or that one. I know, my hands are like right in your way, aren't they? Well, they're coming off. Doing everything I can not to touch the greasy gear in the middle. Of course, the more I try not to touch it, the more I do touch it. As you can see. Set those over here. Take the first section out. We'll grab the second section. Let's try and there we go. And this is the gear that final drive runs on. These are the holes that go in here. That's how it actually grabs the rim and turns it. Apparently there is an O-ring back here. Gotta be careful with that. Alright, so here we go. This is where the shock mounts up to the sway arm. As you can see, I've already loosened the nut. We'll have to pound that bolt out. Assuming it is pretty stiff. But I'm actually going to do that last. As you can see, I went ahead and freed up the brake hose line. Just captured into these. Just pry them up and pull it out from under them. That's the easy part. And I did skip ahead a little bit here. It took me a little bit to figure out what was going on. Up here, the battery box. I can loosen this up. 6 bolts holding that in. Get that taken out. And where you want to get to is that spot right here. I can't seem to. You can see that. Maybe from up here. You can see my finger touching it. Right there is the bolt. that goes through for the bottom part of the sway arm. Maybe I go this way. There we go. 7/8 nut. Took me forever to find one that fit in the hole and over the nut. And that part I am going to do off camera because kind of need both hands and a little bit of oomph to get that one. Once I get that free, I'll go ahead and start the camera back up, and we'll come back over here and take this one out for the shock mount. So a little slight change in plan. When I left you, I was going to pull that bottom sway bar bolt out over here. Ran into an issue. The top exhaust pipe was right in the way, so I ended up having to remove that pipe. I still left it in there. We'll go back over there and I'll show you. Let's go ahead and get this shock one out here though. Like I said, I already loosened these. Main thing here is we got to watch that brake hose. Get this little washer out of there. There we go. Oh, well, that's fun. Alright, so back to the other side. I gotta move the bottom part of that battery box to get that bolt the rest of the way out. I'm not gonna pause it. You might get motion sick. I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the other side here real quick. Lift you up. Now you can see here where I took that top exhaust off. Stuck some paper towels in there so nothing gets in there. This is the bolt. I didn't take the battery backs all the way out. I just kind of angled it so I can pull this bolt out. I'll go ahead and do that. That's it. And I'm going to kind of move this battery box up here out of the way. I'm going to take you back to the other side again. And then this bolt, now that I move the battery box out of the way, I should be able to pull it all the way out. Well, it looks like I just got to do some wiggling to get it out from under there. Not going to be able to do that with the camera sitting right here underneath. So I'll go ahead and get it out, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, that was a whole lot easier than I thought. This bolt right there holds this plastic part at the top. Which was kind of holding this part of the drive shaft cover. So, took that one bolt out. It almost fell out on its own. I didn't have to do much. As you can see, the brake line over here does go down through it, so I'm going to have to unhook that, move that over. Get you back over here. Ew. I don't think the brake caliper is going to fit through there. Not going to quite fit through that hole. So I'm going to take this line off. Oh, well, they're not supposed to be cranked down quite that hard. There we go. There we go. Now, the sway bar is completely free. I am going to put this back together though, just so it doesn't leak all over and make a mess. I'm not going to crank it down as tight as it originally was. There we go. And we'll put it back up here. Now again, we will not be using this again. That's just for protection so it doesn't stress that hose. When we get the trike axle put in, we have the disc brake for it that's already mounted on it and comes with it. We'll just unhook this line. Hopefully it'll just bolt right up. Not sure. It should be long enough, but if not, we might have to extend that. Otherwise, kind of move you over here a little bit. There's the sway bar. It did have some Loctite in there. All in all, really not that bad to get to. Biggest thing is just remembering where all the bolts, nuts, and screws go. Well, it's not too bad. See these two? That's what bolts up to the top part of that sway bar. There'll be mounting points that go to the axle that we're going to be putting in here to make it into a trike. I am going to use a floor jack under here as well. I'll put this 2x4 under the frame here. I'll put my floor jack underneath. Only reason I'm going to do that is because once I send this to them, that'll take 2 to 3 business days. Once they get it, they told me it'd take 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, for them to complete the conversion over and put the axle and everything together, box it up, ship it to me, so it could be 2.5 to 3.5 weeks. So yes, this will be my last video on this until it gets here. When it gets here, I'll start videoing as soon as the crate shows up. It'll be a big wooden box. And we'll start up. So hopefully, you're enjoying this so far. If not, I don't know why you're watching it. But we'll see you again in as soon as possible, but probably about 3 weeks. We'll continue from here. Thank you. For those of you that stuck around a little bit, this is where we are. Sway bar completely tore out. All the covers, gas tank, seats. Have the final drive sitting over here. This is the part I'm going to be shipping with that sway arm back to them, or to them. And then my messy garage. Seats covered up in the towels, the exhaust, covers, the saddlebag mount or brackets that I'll be selling, fuel tank, more body panels, fender buried back there, and of course the messy garage. So there we go. If you have any questions, any comments, definitely post them down below. As I said, it'll be 3 weeks, so I'll be sitting on my butt. I'll be able to easily answer questions and everything until then. And of course, if you're interested in those saddlebags, that tire, the disc brake, shoot me a message. If you want them, they're for sale. Thank you. Well, that's all we got time for today. See you next time and we'll get to the next part. Thank you.